Hey guys, I want to speak about the devastation wrought from the controls due to the COVID-19 crisis. Um, there's a lot of people who, I guess, are kind of irritated or angry or frustrated that they've lost businesses, they've lost jobs, they've lost many, many, many things they had before um, the shutdown. And I look at it more as what it says about the institutions and about what society as a whole values. If we had a federal government, which we don't have, we've got a man in the White House who's a celebrity who uses the Attorney General and the Department of Justice to protect himself. This is a guy that sends military people to his hotels and stuff so that his hotels can get money, which these people can't afford to even go out and get food. It's too expensive, these places. This is a man that pretty much is he's punctified the federal government. But if we had a reasonable president, if we had a reasonable federal government that was interested in actually saving lives and had acted back in January, if we had a true mask mandate, if people weren't so fucking selfish and stupid and wore the damn masks and practiced social distancing back in March, well, it would have been sooner than that, but sooner than March, we could have stopped this thing. We could have had a couple of weeks out and we could have stopped this thing. To me, the COVID-19 crisis speaks more to a society that is deeply selfish. We talk about a lot of like socialistic stuff, like Medicare for all and free healthcare, free college and stuff. People get this mindset, and I've seen it myself. Well, if I had that, then that mean I could go do this. There's nothing wrong with that. I had a lady tell me that truck driver was like, "Well, if they had free college, I would." Okay, I would sell it. I would be like, dude, awesome. I'm glad you're a doctor now. I'm glad you became a physicist. I wouldn't have no problem with that. In America, there's this selfishness and there's this like everybody's out for themselves and everybody's trying to get over and there's just like this everybody's like what's in it for you, like that's how American society is. And I think like we have to deal with that if we are to like move into a more equitable society. I think that COVID-19 was more an expression of what America truly is, that we don't care about each other, that we really have a lot of very selfish, very vicious elements who have this mindset to think that freedom means doing whatever the fuck you want. I mean, their idea of freedom is like an 8-year-old or 7-year-old not wanting to bathe before they go to school. I don't have to do it. No, we have a civilization here. That means we, the people, expect certain things from other people and from our government. We expect certain things off the bat. Um, I guess military will call them standing orders. You bathing, that's one of them. I shouldn't have to. That's a basic. And those people, that's why you see these gas stations where I say no shirt, no shoes, no service, because that's how these rednecks are. They just think that their idea of freedom means fuck everybody else. They don't have to respect. No, dude, we're in a society. We live amongst one another. That's what it means. We live amongst one another. These rednecks, they're just like either I'm gonna kiss you or I'm gonna kill you. That's how they are. I'm gonna kiss you, I'm gonna kill you. And I think that also is the reason for the protests is people angry about a federal government that well, I'm sorry, I got off subject. There's a certain thought process, as I said, in America that's really, really, really unusual to other people from other countries. It's an ignorant, backwards mindset. Um, we I think COVID was more of a sign of the times. than it was just, ooh, doomsday, ooh, it's gonna kill all bodies, human extinction. No, I think COVID was a sign of the times. That's what it was. You guys better get serious about science. You better get serious about virology and climate change and things like that, because this stuff can spread very quickly. And you've got people in this country who are very angry about any kind of a scientific. I mean, look, you're going to always have these people like the Gretchen Whitmer stuff. You're going to always have people who are willing to engage in violence to, carry out political objectives. I think the reason why they went after Gretchen Whitmer and other governors is because even though they were doing things that I guess hurt the rednecks and made Trump look bad, they still had high popularity. And so the rednecks are like, well, if we can't get them out of office legitimately, we'll use violence. And that's what I think, because I think Gretchen Whitmer still has pretty high popularity. At least she did then when he was talking about Trump was talking about liberate those states. See, conservatives talk about states' rights. And now we're seeing that was bullshit, because when things don't work out right for conservatives, they'll use other means, including violence, to achieve their purposes. We as a society have to educate people that the CDC is not your enemy, that wearing masks is not feminine or gay, and that a vaccine is not going to make you gay or transgender or be the mark of the beast. There's an educational thing to the COVID-19 crisis. I mean, even myself, there's a lot of things I had to go back and read and learn back in March. And I was like, wait a minute, 1918, I had to do that. I had to go back and research. But I think people have got to, this idea that Fauci spent 30 years at the CDC and got multiple degrees and he's cured diseases just so he can fool some rednecks in Kentucky. Like, you guys really, you guys really think you're that important, and that wearing a mask is gonna make you gay, vaccine gonna make. I mean, it speaks to me about a lack of education, and it speaks to me about skewed values. Because if you think that wearing a mask will make you gay, or vaccine, you, what you're saying is, I'd rather be dead than be gay. I would rather die, take a chance on this protective mechanism making me or my kids gay. That's a value issue. That's a question of values right there. I can't reason with that. Just like the minister's talking about, well, I'm saved by the blood. COVID can't kill me. That's a value issue. That's a we've seen Louisiana and other states, they kept holding church services and stuff. They had something here in Charlotte, House of Prayer, and a bunch of people got sick, and they had to close the church for a little minute. I mean, these are value issues, and that's got to be dealt with going into the future. That, hey, man, and it's also like, what is the federal government gonna be? What is public health gonna be? Like, I don't think anybody will ever really trust American public health ever again. That's one of Trump's achievements, is he destroyed public health. He destroyed trust. I think that much of the world knew America was a warmongering empire, but I think the world always knew there could be a major crisis, climate change, pandemics, whatever, and that the war power of the American government could also be used for humanitarian means. And so, it's kind of like those mobsters back in the day. They would go out and kill people and shit, but they would still have like Thanksgiving turkeys. Like, when people would like be running around committing crimes, the mob might catch them. They were guys, they would catch. Like, there was still certain things they would not accept. There's movies about that. There's certain things that the organized crime would not accept because they brought heat on their activities. So, I think that America's got a problem. We've got a real problem in this country, and the main thing is, what do people want the government to be? I keep hearing things about like Medicare for All is really popular. It's very popular, and it's kind of like, it doesn't seem like that because Joe Biden barely got elected. It doesn't seem like that you guys want progressive policies. But maybe that's the next generation is like that. But I think that we've got a lot of problems in this country, more than just COVID. A lot of problems, because I guess the other thing to me is that people aren't outraged about the shit Trump has done. That's the other thing that bothers me, is just that folks aren't outraged, just pissed that he weakened us and he destroyed us and he put our lives and our families in danger. Like that, I don't really know where to start with that. You know, this stuff's not okay. It's not acceptable. Trump should not be acceptable. His actions and the things he's said and done have put American lives in danger. You know, it's I don't know. Thank you for listening.